Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
DJ PK, it's time for the question of the day. Are the Dodgers to blame for the impending Major League Baseball lockout? There are plenty of people, PK, have filed their comments away that yes, indeed they are. But I got to say I'm with the minority on this. No, they're not. Have they spent a lot of money? Yes, they have. Have they spent the most money? No, they have not. Have they spent it better than the top 5 or 6 teams? Yes, they have. They found some bargain deals along the way. But I think that the biggest thing, the owner's talking point here is going to be lack of competition. They've won 2 in a row. They're going to win 3 in a row. How can anyone compete? Well, teams have competed. They've been sweating it out in playoff series the last couple of years. They've got about the same record as 2 or 3 other teams right now. It goes back and forth a little bit, but the 3 best records are all pretty close. I think the big thing here is you see the sales of teams in these other sports, and the value's going way up, and baseball teams aren't escalating at the same rate. And whether it's true or not, what has been pegged on is you don't have cost containment, and they do. So the gazillionaires who want to buy into these sports are more likely to buy into basketball or buy into football than they are baseball. And I think the baseball owners see that. I think that's primarily what's driving this. Now, that's not a great talking point for the owners. So the Dodgers are a much better talking point, and the Dodgers become the talking point. And there is enough truth in it that you can put that argument out there and get people going. But I don't think that's the primary thing. I think it's the value of the franchises.
They've won like 12 out of the last 13 division titles.
Yep, they have.
It's not about the postseason because baseball will always be in that way. Once you get to that point, it becomes who gets a timely hit, who makes an incredible play, and money doesn't factor into it. It's you can't sell hope if you don't have the money to buy that hope. And you can say they spent their money wisely. Well, they got Edwin Diaz that they paid $40 million, and he's given up 8 runs in 9 innings.
They have not spent their money. They have not spent their money perfectly. You're right.
But the fact is, they have the money.
They do.
And the other teams, sure, they didn't spend their money wisely, but then they don't have the other money to make up for not spending the money wisely. That's part of the issue. There's a million things. There's no one thing.
No, I totally buy it. I mean, I remember making that argument about the Yankees 20 years ago. Now it's a different era, but I can remember saying, well, the Padres sign a $10 million player, and if he gets hurt, they're done. Whereas if the Yankees sign a $10 million player, they sign another, and they sign another, and they sign another, and if one of them gets hurt, well, they just turn to the other 3.
This Kyle Tucker has given him nothing. Blake Snell has been injured most of the time.
Yep.
Glasgow has been injured most of the time. Diaz literally is injured all the time. Well, it's no big deal.
Their pitching injuries may end up sinking them. Again, to your point, playoffs, not regular season, but it may end up sinking them.
And it'll always be the disparity. It won't be necessarily the result out on the field. It's the disparity that goes. Every team in the National League West is playing for the wild card. We had last week, Yak pulled a quote from the Iowa coach, and he had said for many years in football, the Big 10 was always playing for third place because for 20 years in the Rose Bowl,
Michigan and Ohio State, yeah.
And so NIL can change that to an extent, and he was making some elaborate point. So every team in the NL West, the most you're going to play for is the wild card. Because over the course of 162, that's the real test, not the course over 7.
That's true, but I don't think the lockout's being driven by the 4 teams in the National League that have been looking up at the Dodgers for 12 of the last 13 years.
That has been looking up at the Dodgers.
Well, I just don't think that's true in the same way, because for the other teams, it comes down to the postseason. Now, you could argue for the other teams, like one of the 6 playoff spots is gone,
Yeah, but
it's one they can't get anyway.
It's only 4 teams. No, it's not. It's the Angels. It's the Tigers. It's the Cubs. All these teams and it's the Japanese leagues. It's way more than 4 teams. It's a whole league full of teams that are looking up. They lose these guys because they can't afford them. They knew damn well, the Tigers knew damn well, there was no way.
They were not going to keep
So to say that it's just the other teams in the National League West is silly. It's not just the other teams in the National League West.
Well, I brought up the 4 teams in the National League West because you said it's 12 of the last 13 division titles.
Right. And so I started with them. And
so
you wanted to end with them, but it doesn't end with them.
The Rockies have never come close to putting themselves in position to win anything, so we can have a salary cap, and the Rockies can still mess this up. And it is hard to sell hope, and yet the Padres have done it. They're drawing 40,000 plus, and
because they
they're
have
not going to
hope.
win the division. Right.
For a
so
wild
the Dodgers
card. For a
don't,
wild card,
Dodgers
they have
don't
hope for a wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. If that's your goal, get in the National League West, and you got a decent shot to get in there. Yeah, if the wild card is your goal, Padres are your team.
All this stuff about the Dodgers is true, and we can go into more. You probably got more there. I think there is more. But nonetheless, I think the primary thing motivating these owners is increasing the value of their franchise. And that's why we're going to have a lockout. I think that's why it's going to go deep.
The primary reason of the players is to increase their value. Duh.
Yeah. But they're looking at, hey, are we going to take all this economic pain in 2027 and not open the gates and not get our national TV checks or whatever? And we'll see if they do or don't, if they can get it done before the World Series because they get most of their money for the playoffs. But when you got a chance to make $200, $300, $400, $500 million more, $1 billion more, however much they are projecting that the franchise values will increase, I just don't think this lockout is motivated by all these baseball factors.
It's motivated by everything. I do.
Yeah, I think it's mostly the cash.
Everything is cash. Why wouldn't the players? Why wouldn't Bryce Harper say, "I'm getting $340 million. I'm good to go"? No, I want more. I want the next guy to get more. And then they feel like they have to carry the banner for the dead guys.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Well,
There's nothing to carry for Joe DiMaggio. He's dead.
That's true. But there are some living guys who help them earn what they're earning. And I think for the players, that's a motivating factor. They don't want to be the ones who caved when other people stood up and helped them make this money.
It's a political battle. We had it with COVID. If you lined up, whatever. I heard a guy say today on the WNBA, I could tell you whether you like Caitlin Clark or not, depending on who you voted for. That's it. They don't know anything about Caitlin Clark, but it's who you voted for and who they perceive she voted for. And it's the same thing here. Wait, you want that? I'm an ex-player? Listening to Earl Hershiser last night. I know what side he's going to come down on. We sat in a room when the NBA was having their lockout. And that's where it gets a little dicey because you got ex-players now who are being paid by NBA teams. And the president of the Jazz at the time, we're in the room. Who's paying your money? Well, we know where he's going to be aligned because he's an ex-player. He has to be. Nobody wants to cross the line. You have to be. And so all the players, they have to be. Whether they want to or not, they have to be. And all the owners over here, whether they want to or not, they have to be. It becomes political. The issues to a large degree, the public certainly doesn't care about it, but that's what it gets all muddied. You have to take this stance. Even if this stance is so freaking bizarre and you have gone so far over the top, you have to take it because I hate the other guy. That's the world in which we live in today.
If anybody had been talking about that last game with Caitlin Clark, they would have been talking about why they lost, not who got the points and who got doubled and who got hand-checked.
Who got the beat?
They would have been talking about who gave up 108 points in a game. That's why you lost.
But they don't.
I know. It was 108 to 100. I'm like, you didn't lose the game.
If you're a player, I already know what you think. If you're an ex-player, I already know what you think. If you hate the guy over here, I already know what you think. You don't have to tell me what you think. And that works across all aisles. And we get so line in the sand, and it has to be drawn, and I've got to be over here, and they're not going to play ball in 27. And then all of them are going to lose. And then we'll have to start over like we did in 94, going into the 95 season. Away we go. That's what's going to happen. And then, in 15 years, it'll recover, and we'll go on, and blah, blah, blah. To me, it's not worth losing any sleep over. They're going to do what they're going to do because they have to do it. That's what it sets up. A salary cap? You might as well say I'm a mass murderer or something. No way. And then the owner, well, look at the Dodgers over here. All these guys that they sign. Oh, they've developed a great system. Who the hell has come up from their system? They're all a bunch of free agent acquisitions or trades.
Well, the guys who are still in their system, they protected the top 5. That's just for the next trade.
Well, but how do I know the top 5 are going to be anything?
You don't.
There's literally been number 1 picks who've sucked.
And even when you're a top prospect, even after you've been good in the minors, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll be good in the majors.
Right.
They're guys who shine.
A prospect is just that.
But I suspect that those top 5 are there largely to get dealt in whatever the next trade is.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. I don't. I mean, you can rip the Tigers for this trade, but who knows? I never heard of any of these guys. I'm following the minor leagues to that level. I follow the local team a little bit here, and that's about it. Or you hear of some guys, and that's, when Chris Bryant was coming up for the Cubs, I had heard a lot about him. And blah, blah, blah. So for a while he was pretty good. But is he a Hall of Famer? Not even close.
Yeah, the Padres had a fire sale and traded a guy who was popular and could really hit, and they got a batch of minor leaguers, and everybody's like, ho hum. Yeah, well, one of them turned out to be Trevor Hoffman, so that worked out.
Right, but
it doesn't always. You don't know.
So I couldn't come close to evaluating the trade because even the people who could come close to evaluating the trade aren't really sure. So.
But get something back because he was going to walk as a free agent.
Yeah. And where does he go?
Dodgers.
Yeah. That's a bad look for the game. You can get in the weeds, but under the theory that perception is reality, that's a bad look for the league. To have, and this is what we thought all along. Like the Ohtani getting on a plane and going to Canada. I hope he flew coach and gained miles because he was never going to go sign with Toronto.
Dodgers, baby. Yeah. Stay in L.A.
We all knew it.
Yeah.
And away he goes. Yeah. And they're 2 for 2 with him in the World Series with a chance to go 3 for 3. I mean, they're going to celebrate. What are they going to do? When they clinch a division, are they going to pour champagne? Did they already clinch? I think if they can find out when they unfreeze Ted Williams that he could play, they're going to sign him.
They unfreeze Ted.
Yeah.
Heads up.
If they thought he could play, they would sign him, and he would sign with them.
You just saw the joke about Thanos and the Time Stone, right?
No.
Okay, so social media, they said Thanos in the Avengers movie, the Time Stone, you can go back in time.
Yeah.
They were going to activate their Don Drysdale. They were going to go back and activate all of their legendary pitchers.
Yeah, I saw
from
that.
Dodgers history.
Signed Drysdale, sure.
Yeah.
Have him throw some high cheese.
Yeah. Go get Sandy Koufax and bring him back, too. Why not?
Yeah, he's 90. He looks great.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word. My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast! An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
The perception is you're turning off the fan base. And if you turn off the fan base, that's what matters the most. Because then nobody gets the ultimate. But they're all millionaires and billionaires. Am I going to bleed for these guys who don't play next year?
Probably not.
No, life will go on. I mean, it'll suck. It's my favorite sport to watch in the summer. I watched multiple games yesterday. Last week, or the week before, I went to 3 ballparks. I'm going to Dodger Stadium here in less than 3 weeks. Yeah, it's something that I enjoy to do. But you take it away, you're going to find something else to do. Away you go. I mean, if I made it through the silly COVID thing where I had to sit in my basement with 5 masks on, I can do this. So away you go. And you can pinpoint this or that, but Joe Fan driving to work today doesn't care about that.
He wants his baseball.
Yeah.
We want our games.
Right.
And we're not going to get them.
Whatever money issues you're fighting over, he or she, they're worried about making a car payment and making a house payment. And if you're renting, well, how the heck am I going to be able to afford a house when the interest rates keep growing? And that makes $1,000 difference. I saw something that the house that I bought a while ago, it would be $1,000 more a month. I wouldn't be able to afford it. And that's what people care about, because that if it affects your wallet, you care deeply. If it doesn't affect your wallet, to a degree, you care. But do you care deeply compared to things that affect your wallet? No. So whether they have the assessed valuation of the franchise goes up another $40 million or $100 million, that's in one ear and out the other. The perception is the game is slanted hardcore towards that team over there. And they're not to blame. They're just the example for the blame, because they're playing by the rules. No one's saying they're breaking any rules. Set up for that, for them to do this, so they do it. I don't blame them. It's not has nothing. I've been a Dodger fan, but I'm not a fan in the way that fans are. But I've been following this team since I'm 15 years old. And I moved to Arizona, and there was nothing out there, and we got the Dodger games on the radio. And I listened religiously for years. And then we ended up with, what was it, WGN, and then the Turner Network, and then away we went. And then you had
cable took over, and
yeah. But I still have followed them and I lived there for a decade. Blah blah blah. So from that perspective, yeah, good for them. But we knew it was coming. It was just it was going to come Saturday, was it going to come Sunday, or was it going to come today? But we knew.
When are they going to get the deal done?
Because the deadline is, I think, 4 o'clock our time today. So it was just a question of when. And heck, I just told you that I've had my tickets now for a few weeks now. I hope like heck he pitches. That'd be awesome.
You'd rather see that than see some bullpen game?
Yes, precisely.
Which they played the Red Sox and wanted the start to go 2 2/3. I mean, essentially.
Yeah, they got swept over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to see that? Right. I would much rather. I thought about doping it out, but I thought, it's too far away.
It is. So there's too many.
I'll wait till we get within a week. My sister went to see Reno. They go gambling in Reno. And
the Reno Aces AAA team.
And she's a big Diamondback fan. She mapped it out to see if this Brandon Pfaadt could pitch. And she literally asked Tony Parks, do you think he'll pitch? Because they put him down, and now since he's been up, he's 5-0. And the game that he started 6 games, and the game that he didn't start, he left in the 7th inning with a 6-0 lead, and they blew it. The guy, for whatever happened down in Reno, I have no idea. But he's come back, and he's looked like Don Drysdale. I'm sure that he's mapping out when he's a free agent so he can sign with the Dodgers. It's just, the perception is right now it's not good. Whether the evaluation of the franchise goes up or down or stays the same or somebody else wins it in October, that won't change. The Dodgers winning it adds to it, But if they lose, it does nothing to take away from the feeling and the perception.
If they lose to the Brewers, who have the 19th best
and
payroll.
they're a very good team.
Yeah. But didn't get Skubal, which seemed like their best path to winning the World Series, because then you'd have two guys. I mean, you'd be awesome when they started games 1 and 2, and you turn them around and run them out there in games 4 and 5.
Well, yeah. I mean, they
get 4 or 5 starts out of Miz and Skubal. They'd have been something.
And who's to say they still can't do it? We'll have to see. And I've heard the argument, well, nobody said anything about the Yankees. Yes, we did.
That was one of the comments. I thought that was ridiculous. We talked about it nonstop.
Yeah.
And the fact is, you just had to weather the storm of the core of guys that they got right. And so they won 4 titles in 5 years.
Yeah.
Had the last 3-peat in baseball. And came very close to 4 in a row. And then the Diamondbacks beat them, in a 7-gamer. But then that core of guys, they age, pitchers get injured, whatever, and they've never been able to put it together again.
Right.
And basically half the teams that are spending money now get it right, and half the teams that spend it get it wrong. The Mets have his biggest payroll, and they've gotten it wrong. And the Dodgers have the second biggest payroll, and they've gotten it right. And the Yankees have the third best payroll, and it looked pretty good until a couple key guys got injured.
Well, injuries are the great equalizer and the great destroyer a lot of the times.
And you keep going down the list. Toronto's 4th, and they're not good. But Philly's 5th in payroll, and they're really good.
Yeah, I mean, then you got Bryce Harper saying they're not good enough.
Yep.
And then you got the management going after him for this. So, and it's been that way. Artie Moreno spent millions on the Angels, and he didn't win. They won once. But they signed Rendon. He didn't play a lick. And they signed Pujols, and he got way old. So you're always going to have top spenders are busts, and middle to lower spenders are really good. Yeah. But that doesn't change anything when the top players, you get the top free agent, you get the top pitcher.
Well, they've been collecting MVPs.
You get the top Japanese players.
Betts is an MVP, they get him. Otani's an MVP, they get him. And you're right. Then you got players coming over from Japan.
And if you're great in Japan, there's a good chance
you're going to be great in the United States.
Because they've proven over there that they play legitimate, high-quality baseball. And sure enough, last year, they don't win that World Series without Yamamoto. Now, it's funny, they don't win it necessarily without Miguel Rojas. And, from that perspective, Max Muncy was he was a free agent.
Yep.
And he now has the most home runs in Dodger Stadium history. Max Muncy? Who the heck's he? But, he was available. So they have made great moves. You cannot deny that they've made a bunch of great moves. And and Kike Hernandez and this Paez guy, guys who made phenomenal plays in the World Series last year, they don't win without those guys. But they also don't win without the top guys, too.
Right. Eric Lauer has been their smart pickup this year. But they still want Ohtani.
You read the Bob Nightingale thing yesterday.
I did.
Because you did, because I told you, and now you read them.
I do.
Because he has a real good information.
Stuff. Yeah, he does. He has good stuff.
Right. So I don't blame you.
Yeah. I didn't know.
I told you with the intent of that I knew you would do it.
Yeah.
Because you can gain knowledge in 15 minutes.
And I knew about Lauer. I didn't really know about him, but the name was familiar. And so when I looked him up, it's like, oh, well, he was on the Padres. He's been on 4 or 5 teams. I think this is 4th.
And he's called lightning in a bottle this year so far.
Yeah. Well, his whole career has been he's been up and down. 1 year
But this year he's sensational.
This is his best year, without question. But 1 year his whip is 1.1 or 1.2, and another year it's 1.4 or 1.5. And he just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if his mechanics get off. I don't know if he's battled injuries, so he's off a little bit. But whatever it is, he's up and down. And right now he's on fire.
It's just a question of when they come to that acceptable medium. I don't think it'll be a happy medium. It'll be the ball players and the fans and all the people who rely on that stuff for their income. They will be happy to get back out on the field, but it will be something that'll be begrudging, I think, on both sides.
I think the owners are going to get. I think owners are going to get better results this time. In the past, they've made so much money they haven't wanted to give it up. At least half the season. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the entire one. I don't know how fast the players are going to give in, But I think when you're looking at a valuation going up by $500 million or $1 billion or $1.5 billion, depending on what kind of deal they can get, that enables you to think, well, I can lose this money in the short run because I'm going to get it back in the long run. And the last time we did this 30 years ago, 32 years ago, I guess, 33 by the time it happens, the valuations weren't like this, so there wasn't a prospect of I'm going to get my money back down the road. And you don't necessarily have to sell the whole team. You could even start getting your money back by selling minority shares, sell 10 or 20%.
But every one of them will get their money back.
But now they're going to get more money back.
Even if it doesn't go up from today versus next year or the year after, the price that they paid for is way less.
Yep.
So they have all made a profit.
Yes, 100% believe that. But I think that it's going to accelerate and they're going to make even more of a profit.
Of course.
And that's going to enable them to accept more pain, which will give them a better chance of getting what they want. And they'll have to give up some things. I mean, I think clearly with the salary cap, there'll have to be a salary floor. Some of these teams just aren't spending money. And, there's still, I don't know what it is, 6 teams? I think 6 teams that have payrolls under $100 million.
And that will be prevented.
And that will be changed. There'll be a salary floor.
Because they know that that's a joke.
Yeah.
And they'll give up that in a heartbeat.
Yep.
I also wish that they would be able to understand that they don't own this game. These players don't own this game. These owners don't own this game. We own the game. And they're stewards. And their stewardships, you could F it up. And that's sad.
I think there's a minority of owners and players who look at it that way.
Oh, I wish they would.
A small minority.
You own a plumbing company, you own a furniture store, you own a Dairy Queen. Yeah, that's yours. We don't want it. We don't own it. But we own the game. We, the general public.
All these teams are making money and accelerating in value, and yet we're seeing owners leverage stadiums and arenas and stay put, and we're seeing them try to leverage and then move teams. I mean, it's the Blazers now, but, man, the last 25 years has never been more money in sports, and teams are moving left and right.
Yeah, I know. So
they don't view them as
innocent.
Yeah, they don't view them as stewards. They view them as owners, and it's my team, and I'll go where I want and do what I want. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Stay with us. More baseball with Bob Nightingale at 8:30.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
As a small business owner, sometimes it feels like no matter how much planning you do, there's always surprises. Like an urgent, expensive repair. But here's a surprise you'll like. With Progressive, small business owners save 10% or more on their commercial auto insurance when they pay in full. So enjoy a surprise for once. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.